Hey friends. I'm going to give just a couple seconds for some people to hop on. It's not quite 3 o'clock yet. I wanted to jump on just a couple minutes early just to make sure that Facebook had the time to send the notifications out. So we're going to wait for just a couple of seconds, well, maybe a minute or so, for some people to hop on, and we'll get started at straight up 3 o'clock on this. As you're coming in, say hey so I can see if I can see comments or not, because Facebook does not like to show me comments for some reason. I don't know why. I see Ginger is watching. Hello, hello. So as you're coming in, tell me where you're watching from. I'm coming to you live from the armpit of Arkansas. It's hot as Hades down here. I think it's 107 today. Something stupid. It's insane, but that's okay because I'll be used to the weather when we go to Orlando next month, right? Hey, Sarah. Hey, Tiffany. There's my girl. Hey, girl, hey. Facebook is probably not going to show me comments. I would end up swiping them anyways, but I'm just going to give just another minute for Facebook to send out some notifications, and then we're going to talk about busting excuses. And I do have like all of my things that I want to say typed up over here, because if any of you know me, you know that I'm a huge squirrel and I will not stay like on task. I will go all around the world twice and back again. So I need to stay on point for this. Hello, Cynthia. And so anyways, we're going to give it till 3 and then we're going to get started. Okay. Now, if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay and let me know that you watched. Okay. It's 3 o'clock. So I'm Cassie Baker. I am a director out of Southeast Arkansas. I call it the armpit. I live in a community of about 100 people. And there's literally nothing here. Like there's nothing here. So let me preface this by saying that no one asked me to join Cincy. No one asked me to join. I just wanted a double kit that month and I needed to smell the things before I bought them, right? Zero intention on selling or building a team or doing any of the businessy things. Like that was not me. That was way out of my comfort zone and I was not interested in that. At the time when I joined, I was a full-time nurse working 60, 70 hours a week, and I did have 6 children at home. Full-time nurse working 60, 70 hours a week, 6 children at home. 4 of those children were teenagers. So life was fun. Life was busy. So I joined. I simply took my samples to work with me, my testers, took them to work with me to smell for myself, like, because I didn't get an opportunity to do it any other time. So I was just taking them for myself and everybody else wanted to sniff. And I ended up selling $2,000 in my first 15 days. And I thought, maybe there's something to this Cincy stuff. So I decided to try. I decided to do some research and to see what it took. Okay. My sponsor was some random person on Facebook that I didn't even know. She had shared the opportunity in a post on Facebook, and she knew zilch, nothing, nada. She didn't know anything. She was actually signed under her mother-in-law, who also didn't know very much of anything. My sponsor is no longer with the company. She fell off not too long after I joined, probably several months. And then her mother-in-law is still with the company. I rolled up to her, but she lost her downline, and so I rolled up again. So I've never had anybody like holding my hand, showing me the way, doing anything for me. Like I've always just taught myself. So everything that I know is either self-taught or I have learned from the YouTube greats like Chloe Cox, Shauna Davis. Shauna Davis is not really a YouTube great, but she's definitely a great. Okay. Jennifer Anderson, Melissa Gratz, all the people, okay, the people that know how to work their business. That's who I learned from. And my fabulous SSD, Tracy DeMario. She has really shown me the way. And I will forever be grateful for her, because I'm forever grateful for Cincy. 11 months after I joined, I quit my full-time job and came home, and I've been doing this for full-time for 4 years. And so some might think that that's crazy, and yes, it is crazy. But I have dealt with a lot of setback, gone through a lot of trauma, gone through a lot of hard, difficult times in my almost 5 years with Cincy. In July of 2020, I think, was that? Yeah. July of 2020, I came home to be with my kids full time because of the coronavirus. Little did I know that September my mom would be diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and so I became her caregiver. She passed away in February of 2021. My husband lost his job. We moved. My dad went to prison. My ex-husband committed suicide. All of these things have happened in a very short period of time, and I have had every single excuse to simply lay down and put my business aside and say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. But instead, I decided to use the excuses and use the pain and everything that I went through as fuel for my fire. That's what I decided to do with all of that. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details of all the things that I went through. Just know that life has been bad. Life has not been great. And times have been very difficult. But, you know, I remember the day that my mom died. And my mother loved Cincy. Like, even on her deathbed. She was, it was probably a week before she passed away. She was looking at a Cincy catalog, and she was circling all the things that she wanted for her new home that they were building. And I remember the excitement in her eyes that Cincy, just as me being the consultant, brought to her. And I really thought about that in that day, in that moment that she died. Like, yes, Cincy was on my mind. My husband didn't have a job at that time. He had been fired. The first time he had ever been fired in his life, and he was also a nurse. We had lost all that income. Anyway, squirreling. Back to what I'm talking about. So my mom had circled all these things. She loved it. She loved that Cincy had brought me home. She loved that I could work when I wanted to work when I was able to work. She absolutely loved everything about it. And when she passed away, I thought to myself, as many people always think to themselves, what are people going to think of me if I continue to post or talk about Cincy? And that thought really triggered something in my mind, and I heard the voice of my mother saying, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, you know what, I got to keep going. Why should I lay down? I wanted to, but why should I lay down and stop working my business just because she's not here anymore? Whenever she was so proud of what I'd done and of who I was and the fact that I got to come home. Why should I stop? And it's like that with many things in life. People's dogs die and they're like, oh, I can't work my business. My heart's broken. Okay. I guarantee you, if your heart's broken, you're still on your phone, honey. Or people say, I'm sick, I can't work my business today. I guarantee you that if you're sick, you're still scrolling social media. Or people just say, I'm having a really hard time mentally. Girl, me too. We all have a sad story. What we do with that story is all dependent on us. It's up to us to make that sad story different. To use that sad story for good. So, in all of the things that have happened to me, I have never once let the struggle, I let it get in my mind a little bit, and I would doubt myself and say, you can't keep going. You can't. But when it comes down to it, and I saw this, I actually saw a post that I shared on Facebook today, and I wrote it down. Where did I put that? Let me see where I put that. Here it is. Okay, so in 2021, this is what I shared. Remember, excuses won't get you anywhere, but they will keep you exactly where you are. You can't deposit excuses. And that is a Facebook memory from 2021. So, all the things that I went through, and I'm not saying I'm some superwoman, but I am saying that I have decided to be driven, and I have decided to not let anything deter me from my vision. Okay? Nothing is going to deter me from my vision. So, it's not what you do every now and then, but what you do consistently. So we all have the excuses, but we also all have the power to press on and keep working and to just do what we need to do. And I am going to be looking over here because I am looking at my notes because I did write notes. So our culture is people, we're like, oh, this is hard. I'm going to quit. I'm going to be honest with some of y'all. Some of y'all are just so dang lazy. So dang lazy. It's like you don't want to send a message, you don't want to post on Facebook, you don't want to do follow-ups, you don't want to find parties, you don't want to do all of the things that it takes. You don't want to send recruiting conversations. You don't want to do all the things that it takes to build a business, but you'll sit there and scroll Facebook all day, or you'll Netflix and chill all day. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Or you'll let your mental get to you so bad. And I understand, listen, side note, I understand mental illness. I do. Been there, done that, delivered by the grace of God in 2021. Not long after my mama died. Not long after, overnight deliverance. Do you hear me? I know what it's like to be in that dark place. I know what it's like to want to take my own life. I know what it's like to not want to wake up. I know what it's like to not get out of the bed for days on end, except for to go to the bathroom. I know what it's like to not brush my teeth for 2 weeks. I know what it's like to not shower for weeks on end, because I've been there. But do you know what I did during those times? Even laying in my bed for days on end, I was still on my phone, and I still posted, I still shared, I still done something, because something is better than nothing. That was just a side note. You'll spend your time on things that make you look busy, but not on things that actually earn you money. Excuses are a comfortable shield that we use to protect ourselves. Like, we think that if we have an excuse, that it makes it okay. Like, this happened, so today I'm not going to do this, and because this happened, it makes it okay. I've got an excuse that covers me. And honestly, your excuse doesn't cover you. Excuses are like booty holes. Everybody's got one, and every single one of them stink. That's what I feel like. That's what I think about excuses. However, the path to success demands that we drop the excuses and commit to working hard despite the challenges. We all have challenges. We are all living in a very, very sad time. We all go through struggles. I promise you, the people at the top of this company are going through the hardest struggles that they may not even talk about. There are so many people in this company who are so successful, who have gone through the most struggles, and still continue to show up and lead and work and do all of the things that it takes to build a successful business. I know of several SSDs who have been in very, very, very dark places, yet they still have successful businesses, and that is not luck, my friends. That is not luck. That is showing up despite the way they felt. That's them not letting their feelings dictate their future. That's them saying, I know I feel like this, but I also know that I'm going to get up and I'm going to show up. That's what that is. Exactly what that is. Hold on. I lost myself on my notes. Every excuse we make is a barrier between us and our goals. Okay? Whether it's lack of time, resources, confidence, these justifications only keep us stagnant. That is the only thing that they do. True progress starts when we acknowledge these excuses for what they are, which is self-imposed limitations. You're limiting yourself. You're putting limits on yourself. You're thinking, oh, I know that Cassie done that, but I can't do that. Oh, I know she can build a team, but I can't build a team. And I'm telling you that I can't, never could do nothing. And as long as you have that mindset, you're going to continue staying stagnant right where you are. So drop the excuses, push through the resistance, focus on the steps you can take today, right now, however small they may be. And remember that great achievement is the sum of many small efforts repeated day in and day out, despite the excuses that could have stopped them. Okay? Excuses are, and my team, people in my team will tell you that I do not handle excuses well. I'm very compassionate. I have empathy. But sometimes when people come at me with things that are so mediocre and so just minute, would probably be a better word than mediocre. Very, very minute. And it's like, they don't want to make the decision to make a change. By not making a decision to make a change, you're making a decision to stay the same. And it's super frustrating for me. And I know that it's super frustrating for them, because I feel like they want that. But then how do you get to that point to where you say, okay, well, I'm going to turn these excuses into fire. I'm going to turn these excuses into passion to push past what I want. And I can tell you that It only takes a little bit of time of actually making yourself do things despite the way that you feel. It becomes natural. It becomes just what you do. It becomes like second nature. Excuses are part of human nature, but they're also the biggest barrier between us and success. So the first step to overcoming your excuses is to acknowledge your excuses. Most people who are giving us excuses do not acknowledge their excuses. They want to legitimize their excuses. Is that even a word? If not, it is now. They want to legitimize their excuses and think that it actually gives them an excuse to not do things. Like, it actually makes it right, when in fact it does not at all. I've lost myself again. So what I like to do is when I wake up in the morning and I don't feel like getting up out of bed, and I just say, oh, I'm gonna sleep until 10. I was up really late last night, so I deserve a nap. That's me making an excuse. And so what I started doing was recognizing the excuse making and saying, oh, hey, self, you're making excuses again. Let's not do that. Let's get on out of bed. Let's get our day going. Let's do all the things. Think about the long-term consequences of your excuses. So many, many, many times, probably more than I would be willing to admit, but many times in my business, I have wanted to quit. Has anybody else ever wanted to quit? I wanted to quit. I was done. I felt like I could not go on. I've had conversations with my husband, like, I just don't, like, I'm not growing fast enough. These people are not doing enough. I don't want to do Happy Mail anymore. I don't feel like making samples. I don't want to deliver orders anymore. These people are driving me crazy. This person, all the things, like, all the reasons to quit. And he always, like, brings me back down. And he's like the calm to my storm, always. But I like to think that, I'm sorry, somebody sent me a message. I like to think back on those times when I did want to quit. Where would I be now? What would happen? And I already know what would happen. But what would happen if I literally just stopped? Everything that I've built, everything that I've worked for, all the blood, sweat, and tears would be for nothing. It would all be for absolutely nothing. And I didn't work this hard to get to where I am. I don't work this hard to earn the things that I earn. I don't work this hard to be who I am, to just quit and to let it go. And I have to remind myself of that, because I worked very hard consistently to get to where I am. And if I just lay down and stop, I'm not only affecting myself, I'm affecting 240 other people who are on my team. I'm affecting those people too. The people that I said that I was bringing with me. The people that I wanted to help change their lives. I'm not only hurting myself, I'm hurting them too. So that's what I like to think about. Think about all the things, all the loss. Like, even if I quit for like a month, okay, things will fall apart that fast. It's crazy how it takes a long time to build, but then once it starts falling apart, it takes even longer to rebuild. Always remember that. The rebuild is not worth it. It's not. So having a clear and realistic goals can provide a sense of direction and purpose. So this whole entire program has been about goals and action. Goals and action, because every single thing we do is directly linked back to goals and action. What goal do we want and what action are we going to take to get there? So having like realistic goals and actions that you can do. Like, if your goal is to sell $2,000 a month, recruit 2 people a month, which it should be, that should be your minimum goal. You should never ever have a goal below that, unless you're you don't want leadership. If you want leadership, 2,000 a month, 2 people a month, 2 brand new teenies a month. And then what goals do you have to take to get those results? So, to get 2,000 PRV a month, you're going to have to talk to a lot of people. You're going to have to do some parties. You're going to have to do follow-ups. You're going to have to meet new customers. And you know that you're going to have conversations with people and share the opportunity, and then work with your team. Those are the things that you're going to need to do. So this isn't like I'm going to make a list for you and go over that, but I'm just saying, creating a routine. Finding your why. Most of us know our why, but revisiting that why often will help you bust through excuses. Because if you think up an excuse in your mind, or if you have an excuse one day and you think about your why, okay? My why started out is I can make a little extra money a month and maybe not have to work the overtime that I do. And then my why became about my kids. And then my why changed to I need to take care of my mother. And my why has changed again to I want my husband to be home full time with me and us be able to work this together and take care of our family. We only have 2 kids left at home now. 4 of them are grown now. It's really sad. But we want to be able to travel more with them than we did with the older 4. We want to be able to do things with them that the older 4 didn't get to do. And that's my why. I want to be able to provide for them, and I want to leave a legacy for my family. And Chloe Cox talks about leaving a legacy for her family all the time, and her trainings are absolutely amazing. If you don't watch her trainings, she has a great program right now. It's I think the 4th week is actually already up. Actually, I know it is because I've already watched it. So it's a build program, weeks 1 through 4. Talks about getting in the vehicle, getting in the driver's seat, turning it on, doing the things. It's amazing. So if you have not done that program, this is just a little advertisement. Go and watch that. It's 4 separate videos. It's on her YouTube channel. You can just search Chloe Cox. It'll come up. Remove the temptations. What tempts you or what triggers your excuses? Remove those temptations. If your phone distracts you, if social media distracts you, if whatever distracts you, put it up, put it away. If Netflix distracts you, if children distract you, just throw them out in the yard. I'm just kidding. Whatever distracts you from sitting down and working your intentional business list for the day, put it aside. I know that emergencies come up. I know that things happen, and those are okay, but make sure that every day you get your intentional list done. And I think that later on in the program we're going to talk more about that intentional list, like setting aside 30 minutes to an hour, however long you need. I do a lot longer than 30 minutes to an hour because I'm building, right? I'm building. So I work on my business for like 6 hours a day because I do this full time. And I work like 6 hours a day on all of the things, but I have that list of intentionality, those things that I need to do, the follow-ups that I need to do, the people that I want to reach out to for join conversations, because I have 5 to 10 every single day, how I'm getting my PRV, the parties that I need to post in, trying to get more parties on my schedule, doing all the things. So I have my list of intentionality there, and I go by that, and I stick to it, and I don't let things deter me away from that. So I actually use 45 minutes a day for that list. Like, that's the only thing that I'm doing for those 45 minutes. That's it. I'm working on these things. I'm checking them off one by one. I'm making sure that this gets done. The rest of the work you can consider, it's not really fluff, but you could consider it fluff. So I'm checking in with my team. That's not really fluff. I'm checking in with my team. I'm doing coaching calls. I'm delivering orders. I'm doing all the things around the office, whatever I need to do. Find somebody that you can be accountable to about your goals, and whether it's a friend or outside of Scentsy, or a friend within Scentsy, or maybe even someone higher up that can maybe mentor you. I have a really awesome mentor that I don't think she intended to be a mentor, but she is. Actually, I have a couple, and those are Sarah Speechley and Debbie Pitts-Palmer. Debbie Pitts-Palmer is like a godsend to my soul. I met her in New York City on the incentive trip, and I absolutely adore her. And I've learned so much from her, and then from Sarah Speechley, I learned so much from her as well. And then I have my bestie, Josh Webster, and we keep each other in check. We're like twins. We compete against each other all the time, and he normally sells more than I do, but it's okay. I usually recruit more than he does, so it kind of evens out and works out. So stay positive, keeping a positive mindset. Always holding yourself accountable to a positive mindset. Negativity never got anybody anywhere, and if you can learn very quickly to crush a negative mindset and to speak positive, I promise that it'll change your whole entire business. Learn from your mistakes instead of punishing yourself for them. Use them as opportunities to grow, right? When we mess up, that just helps us grow, and that's all that is. And by implementing all of these strategies, you can push through excuses and stay on track and succeed in your business. And remember the journey. I wrote this down because I can't quote it. Remember, the journey to success is a series of small, consistent steps. Stay committed, stay motivated, and watch as you transform your excuses into accomplishments. I have loved chatting with y'all today. I hope you took away some kind of nugget, and I hope that you know that you can do hard things and you can push through those hard moments, and those hard moments do not define you. Your mental health does not define you. The people around you do not define you. You define you. And whatever you want, you can have. You can go get it. And I'm telling you something that I've experienced for myself, from the girl that lives in the armpit of Arkansas, in the Delta, in the community of 100 people, who has no skills whatsoever in leadership or any of the things. I'm telling you that you can do it. Go out there and crush it. I love y'all. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I will come back and answer them a little bit later.